Sexton. At first is Latham. Here's the 0-2 in the dirt. Nice job by Hayden Williams knocking that one down. Count is now 1-2.
Yeah, with the 3-1 score right now, no outs in the top of the second. Runners on first and second right now for Northwest. We'll just got to find something.
Foul ball again. What an at-bat here for the right-handed hitting catcher, Hunter Austin. And that's really racking up some pitches for Nick Brooks.
That and Nick's battling as well. I mean, you look at Nick right now, you know, he's not rattled. That's one thing I do like about him. When he does get runners behind him and around him, he doesn't get rattled too much. He just keeps going one pitch after the other trying to get that out.
Change up, fouled straight back, and we'll do it again. And he's probably wondering, Nick, along with his catcher Hayden Williams, what can I do to get the ball past Hunter Austin? This has been close to a double-digit pitch at bat from Brooks to Austin. Fly ball,
and
hooking, foul.
We hopefully have a good supply of baseballs in the dugout today. So see, T.J. Watson has already gone to the new box of balls and is trying to get them dirtied up over there.
And we got another pitcher warming up now for ICC. Aiken was warming up, but now
it's Hensley.
That's Hensley.
No, excuse me, that is Dustin Hahn.
So Hahn is throwing right now in the ICC bullpen. There's a ground ball to third. Gill steps on the bag. The throw to first. A double play. Oh, did we need that one? That 5-3 double play brought to you by the National Guard.
Yeah, needed that in a big, big way there that time, Will. And as we said, that's Nick Brooks right there. I mean, he just battles, keeps going, and eventually can get out of an inning or find a way out of it with a rolled up double play like that.
Oh, that is huge. We go to the top of the order, and James Lear, he started the game popping up to Brooks. 0 for 1 today. Lear hitting at .355 with a home run, 17 runs batted in. There's a strike called. 2 outs in the top of the second. Northwest leads 3-1. Brooks will check the one runner now, and that's Sexton. I beg your pardon, that is Latham now at second. Sexton was forced. There's a strike called. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, good fastball that time, just right across the numbers and on the corner of the plate that time. Really froze up the batter.
Lear with a .487 on-base percentage. The leadoff hitter for Northwest. Pitches inside and it hit him. So Lear reaches base. And so with runners at first and second with 2 outs, here's Tanner Densford, the second baseman.
Now batting number 6, Tanner Densford.
Yeah, so that was a tough break right there for Brooks as he was having to battle back, trying to get that third out. So instead, maybe we can just roll one up here and get out of this inning with minimum damage done on this one, trailing 3-1.
Densford flew out to the right fielder Butler his first time up. There's a pop-up, right side. Bowman has a beat on it, and he makes the catch just on the outfield grass, and that takes care of Northwest in the second. But the Rangers send 8 to the plate. They get 3 runs on 3 hits. There was an error, and 2 were left. We go to the bottom of the second. Northwest leads ICC 3-1.
Hi folks, Barrett Clark from Larry Clark Chevrolet in Amory. It's Truck Month at Mr. Truck. Buy a new 2014 Chevrolet Silverado or GMC Sierra for our pricing. That includes 2 years of certified maintenance and warranty for life. That's right, a powertrain warranty for as long as you own it. Do your shopping online with MrTruck.com. From my family to yours, and from all of us at Larry Clark Chevrolet, thank you for your support. All rebates assigned dealers. See dealer for details. Lifetime warranty for vehicles 5 years or newer, less than 80,000 miles. Cadillacs excluded. It's easy in Amory.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton. We head to the bottom of the second inning, and ICC is trailing this one by the score of 3-1. Look at Braden Owen. Is he coaching first?
So he's coaching first today. So Braden, who has been out with injury, coming in and I guess you say doing his best Justin Bryan impersonation as he's having to be over there in first. But, but yeah.
How about that? That's good for Braden. Good guy. I know it's killing him not being able to play, being hurt. And, of course, Justin Bryant is coaching third. I know we've got at least two people listening to our broadcasts. We've got Rick Collier and Luke Gibbs, who cannot play in Game 1. They're listening to our broadcast in the ICC locker room. And let's see if we can talk about a rally here in the bottom of the second with the Indians trailing 3-1. Here's Tanner Poole, fouls this one straight back. It'll be Poole, Butler, and Johnson, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for ICC. Poole was out last week.
Yeah, he was out with an injury, so battling back now, trying to get in the swing of things, and hopefully can get us rallied here in the bottom of the second.
There's a bouncer foul down the third base line. Well, to the count.
We talked about Paul Johnson coming in yesterday being the, like I say, being the trick for the Lady Indians to be able to get that Game 2 win. I noticed bats went cold after Jim Holder left, so we may need to call him back.
I tell you what, Jim, come on back. I know he's listening. He always listens to our broadcasts. Appreciate Jim coming over here this afternoon. Highlights tonight on WTVA at 6 and 10. He might even sneak in a few pieces of video on his abbreviated sportscast at 9 on WLOV, Fox 27. Curveball is high, 1-2 the count to Poole. Andy Lee from WTVA came over yesterday to cover the doubleheader softball against Northeast. Then Jim Holder back here at Itawamba here this afternoon for this baseball doubleheader, and that strike 3 called to Tanner Poole for the first out here in the bottom of the second, and that strikeout, like all of them this year, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton.
Yeah, that was a wicked breaking ball that time. I don't know if it used its turn signal or not, but man, it had a sharp bite to it and a good bit of speed to it as well, so it really had Poole sort of tied up at the plate.
That for Tanner, the 16th time he's struck out so far this year. There's a fly ball to right field, right center. It's near the track, and a nice long running catch by Lear. How smooth was James Lear out there in center field? It looked like he just glided from his center field position there to nearly the wall, or nearly to the warning track in right center.
Absolutely, and yeah, he just made it look easy. The ball just didn't quite get enough of the wind to get out of here, as I thought, like I believe it was Butler that time that gave it a ride.
Yeah, Butler did give it a good poke there. Butler started the day hitting at 283, no home runs. He came close to getting that first home run of the year. He has 11 runs batted in. And with 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the second, it's Russ Johnson. He's starting at shortstop in place of Luke Gibbs, who, like Rick Collier, has to sit out the first game. Both were ejected Sunday at East Mississippi. There's a swing and a miss with Bryce Williams on deck. There's 2 outs here, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the second in Game 1 of a doubleheader. Northwest has the 3-1 lead on Itawamba. Strike.
Wow.
3 called. So that was 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and that's another strikeout, the second of the inning and of the game for Waddell. Brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton, located right across the street from the Student Services Building, the David C. Cole Student Services Building here in Fulton. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the third. Northwest leads at Itawamba 3-1.
ICC FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's a winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
Number 1,
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, the Baptist Student Union, Family Pharmacy of Fulton, Subway, JUCOweekly.org, and First National Bank in Pontotoc.
And the first pitch in the top of the third, Jay King sends a fly ball out to right field, and Butler takes it for the first out here in the top of the third with Northwest leading 3-1. Here's Kramer Hollenbach, had a double to lead off that second inning. It was a 3-run second for the Rangers to take this 3-1 lead. He sends one deep and out of play, heading right toward the Northwest bus. It just went over the bus.
And missed the centers.
Yes, Jerry Center and his son Tim Center.
You think Tim might be able to throw that one back in the park a little bit?
Oh, easily. He was excited. Of course, Tim, a former Northwest Ranger, excited about the doubleheader. Seen him the last couple of days. There's a base hit up the middle for Hollenbach. He's 2 for 2. You can see why Hollenbach is hitting .436. He's got power to all fields. Hollenbach now with an on-base percentage of well over 500 on the year, and this is the 28th game of the season.
Well, the Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. East Mississippi's rallied back now to take a 7-5 lead after 6 innings over Northeast.
That's a Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. Nice job monitoring that key doubleheader. There's the first pitch is low and outside to Chase Clark. He walked and scored in that 3-run second. Clark hits from the left side. The first baseman wears number 17 on the back of his Rangers jersey, hitting at .342 with 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Runner at first with 1 out, and the pitch is low. 2-0 the count to Clark.
Yeah, Chase, another one. Those guys out of that Bruce program that had a really good run, state championship out in Bruce, not a fellow Trojan. I was a Cougar. He was a Trojan. So, but yeah, another fellow Calhoun County guy out there that had a chance to watch him play since he was little, and he's another one of these guys. They had just a group of young guys that came through that just loved baseball. That's all they played. Didn't play football, basketball, or anything else. Just played baseball, and man, it's showing in their careers.
No doubt. This pitch is low to Clark. Ball gets away. Now they'll throw down to second. They got a guy in between first and second, and Hollenbach slides back. Just barely beats the throw. And so he remains at first, 3-0 the count. How did Bruce not win a couple state titles with all his talent?
Well, if you remember, there was that controversial ruling that they had.
Whenever, I do remember that. That was this Bruce bunch.
Threw just a few too many pitches
okay.
In a week.
I
and
do remember that.
Had to forfeit a game and kind of got a state championship taken away from them, but they did come back and win one after that.
That's right.
You look back at it, and it's...
That's a couple years ago,
yeah,
but
it's
still
a confusing rule the way it read, and I mean teams have done that before, and it's not come up, and then it was just an unfortunate break for Bruce, and really one of those situations you really hate to see something like that decided on just a pen and paper.
Clark walks, first pitch, double steal, the throw down to third is in time as Hayden Williams showed off that right arm as Hollenbach tried to steal third, and Williams guns him down. That's a big web gem right there. That defensive play brought to you by the National Guard.
Yeah, it's a big out right there. 2 outs now, but you see it. Northwest, they like to be aggressive on the bases, and they're going to test your arm all day and see what they can make you do.
Here is Taylor King, the third baseman. You're right. They're starting the day with 80 stolen bases on the year. This is a grounder foul down the third base line. They are 80 out of 90 starting the day. So what Hayden Williams just did right there,
very few people have.
That's exactly right. 80 out of 90. They're trying to go 4 years in a row with stealing at least 100 bases. ICC, on the other hand, has 34 steals this year. That just shows you the total different philosophy between Northwest and ICC. That pitch is low, 1-2 the count. But that's something that head coach Mark Carson and his assistant Bill Selby, they've been trying to keep the pressure on the defense. There's a grounder foul, and speaking of Selby,
nice play on the ball.
Yeah, former major leaguer. Had some good years with the Cleveland Indians. Big claim to fame, hit a grand slam off of Mariano Rivera in the New York Yankees.
Not very many people can say that.
No. I always like saying that. I know we got a lot of Northwest folks listening here this afternoon. Special shout out to all of them that are listening to our broadcast. There's a grounder in the hole in left field. A base hit. Clark will stop at third. That base hit by Taylor King, and I'm sure some of the Northwest coaches are saying, "Will, really, you bring up that with Selby? Now we got to hear about this for another week or two." Selby will come back and start talking about it again.
I'm sorry, but if I'm him, I don't. There's not a conversation a day I don't bring that up in. Be like, "You want a ham sandwich?" Funny thing about a ham sandwich, that's what I ate after I hit a grand slam off of Rivera.
How about that? Here's Steven Sexton, the right fielder out of Tupelo Christian Prep. Pitch is a strike by Brooks right down the pipe. 0-1 the count. The runner at third is Clark. The runner at first is Taylor King. Not to be confused with the shortstop Jake King for Northwest. It's 3-1 Northwest, top of the third here at Roy Crescent Field. Brooks checks the runners. Fastball upstairs to the right-handed hitting Sexton. It's 1-1.
Yeah, just need to find a way to get this third out here and try to get out of this inning with minimum, or actually no damage done.
Sexton making his 20th start of the year. Has a home run. He's driven in 20. There's a strike.
He was
1-2.
He was looking to drive in some more and add another home run to this with that swing right there. Just couldn't catch up with the fastball. 1-2 now is the count.
Let's see if Brooks and the Indians can get out of this inning. They've had 3 base runners, Northwest. Curveball, strike 3. What a beautiful breaker there by Brooks, and that strikeout, his first of the afternoon, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 were left. Throw another donut on that scoreboard. Over the left center field wall, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop here in downtown Fulton. We're going to the bottom of the third. 3-1 Rangers over the Indians. You love us in print, you'll love us online. Being a Daily Journal subscriber sets you apart from the rest. Not only do you enjoy the knowledge, power, and connection that comes from having the Daily Journal delivered to your home, you can also enjoy unlimited access to our website, djournal.com, 24/7. Be sure to visit djournal.com/total access. Click Activate Now and claim your free unlimited access today. If you're not a home delivery subscriber, check out our web-only subscription options beginning as low as $6 a month.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
We head to the bottom of the third. Alongside Adam Core, I'm Will Komeyer. It's 3-1, Rangers over our Indians. It'll be the number 9, 1, and 2 hitters for Itawamba, facing Waddell here in the third. That's Bryce Williams, Drew Wheeler, and Andy Bowman. A first pitch, fastball high and inside, 1 on the count to Bryce.
Yeah, we can really use getting Bryce on the bases right here. He's a second baseman with a lot of speed out of Ridgeland, so especially with that part of the lineup coming up as he fouls that one off in the parking lot.
Down the right field line, and that does reach the parking lot. Bryce hitting at .232 starting the day, Adam. No home runs, 9 runs batted in. He does have 3 doubles, so that helps that slugging percentage a bit. Does have an on-base percentage of .338. There's a strike called. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, breaking ball that froze Bryce that time. Couldn't quite pull the trigger on it.
That ball is low. 2-2 the count.
Starting to see a lot more people come fill the stands. A great day for baseball out here at Crescent Field.
Boy, it really is. It is outstanding. That pitch is just a little low. Count is full. Absolutely gorgeous day, and we've got to appreciate these days because before we know it, the humidity will be here.
Yeah, that's not nothing we like around here.
There's Williams lifting one into short center field and a CNI single. Just had enough oomph on that swing by Bryce Williams to get a base hit. And that's a good start.
As we said, that's what we need to do. We need to get guys on base and a chance to push them around, especially on this part of the lineup right here. As we said, the middle to lower part of the lineup has been a little inconsistent this year. They'll play great some games, and then some games, they'll struggle a little bit. So, if we get this top part of the lineup with some runners in front of them, we can start doing some damage.
Let's see if we can cut into this 3-1 deficit. Here's Drew Wheeler hitting at 317 starting the day. There's a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, he took a healthy cut at that one right there. Saw a pitch he liked, just couldn't catch up with it.
Drew with 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in, has a .420 on-base percentage, and diving back safely is Williams. Bryce this year does have 2 stolen bases in 2 attempts. ICC 34 out of 47 on the base path. There's a bouncer to second, the flip to second for 1, the relay in time to get Wheeler. And that's a nice double play that Northwest was able to turn because it wasn't hit that hard. But Densford to Jay King, the relay to Clark. That double play brought to you by the National Guard.
But I'll tell you what made that a successful double play is he didn't go for the tag. He went ahead, caught it, and flipped it. If he goes for the tag, that gives Wheeler an extra step or two to get to first.
Here's Andy Bowman, who doubled with 1 out in the bottom of the first and came around to score on an Ethan Gill RBI ground out. That pitch is high and outside, had a little tail on it. 1-0 the count with 2 outs now in the bottom of the third. Nobody on base after that double play ball. Another fastball high, 2-0 the count.
Yeah, working pretty fast in his count here, not wasting any time getting to the rubber and throwing the pitch.
Gill is on deck. That's inside. 3-0 the count to Andy Bowman. Bowman has already walked 15 times this year. That's why his on-base percentage starting the day was .495. It's now at .500 and now over .500 as he has walked yet another time this year. And we've got a 2-out walk to Bowman, and that'll bring up Ethan Gill.
And that speaks a lot about Bowman because we talked about it time and time again. He swings a good bat. And usually a kid that's, on a hot streak or hitting the ball well, seeing the ball well, has a tendency to go after pitches. But he's one of these that he lays back, waits for what he gets, and doesn't get greedy and chase bad pitches. And that's the reason why he's able to get on base as much as he is.
That's a good point. Here's Gill with the only ribby of the afternoon for ICC. Pitch is low. 1-0 the count. Gill grounded to short in the bottom of the first to score Bowman, who had that double and then went to third on a wild pitch. Hayden Williams, who doubled his first time up, he's on deck for the good guys. Curveball, strike called. Beautiful curve there by Waddell.
Yeah, so just nice curve, found the inside part of the plate where Gill couldn't extend on the pitch, so he just took it for a strike.
Gill hitting at .391 starting the day. Low and outside, 2-1 the count. That RBI in the first by Ethan, his 22nd run batted in on the year. He's now 27 out of 70 at the plate this year. Another curveball, and this one evidently catches the corner. Must have hit him right there at the knees. Gill didn't like the call. And now that evens the count at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Rangers lead our Indians 3-1. Drawing a throw, diving back safely at first is Bowman. Andy this year has a couple steals in 2 attempts. Fastball just inside. Count is full at 3-2. Now with 3-2, the count with 2 outs, Bowman will get an extra start. A little extra start there as he'll be off with the pitch. See if Gill can hit one in the gap and we can cut it to 1. There's a sharp single up the middle. And it was hit so hard, Bowman, even though he was going with the pitch, has to stop at second. And Gill has himself his first base hit of the afternoon. And that's just Ethan Gill being Ethan Gill. Another base hit, his 28th now this year in 71 attempts.
Yeah, he's not an easy out. And even when he does ground out, he's still not an easy out because you got to be a man to step in front of those because he leaves no doubt when he swings the bat. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a rocket when it comes off there.
Well, we need a rocket out of Hayden Williams, just like his first time up, had a double. We get a double right here. We got a shot at tying this one up. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Runners at first and second for the right-handed hitting Williams. He pops this one up to the right of us here in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth. Austin Welch, the DH, is on deck.
Yeah, it'd really be nice to get something in the gap right now, see if we just can't move these guys around and push across a run. Once again, really can't afford to leave runners in scoring position, and that's kind of been the Indian story this season.
Williams, that double in the first, his second 2-bagger of the year. He does have a triple. Still looking for his first home run. Wind is blowing out just a tad. I mean, it's a slight breeze.
It's blowing enough to let you know it's blowing.
There you go. Here's the 0-1 to Williams. High. 1-1 the count. With Welch on deck. We're in the bottom of the third. 3-1 Rangers over the Indians. The first of 2 here on FM 95 Sports. James Puckett is our photographer here this afternoon on our Let's Go ICC production. Looks like you got a nice view. Adam is producing that one as well. That ball in the dirt. 2-1 the count to Hayden Williams.
Good at bat right now by Hayden, being patient.
Waddell has 4 wild pitches starting the day. He had one in the first inning for his 5th. They're going to try to pick off to Bowman, and Bowman just gets back.
That was too close for comfort.
Yeah. In fact, quite a few of the Rangers wearing their road red jerseys were on their way to the dugout. So 2-1 the count to Hayden Williams. Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Big double play ball. Hurt ICC in this frame. That pitch is high and inside. 3-1 the count. Otherwise, we might have scored another run. Welch is on deck. Williams this year has a .420 on base percentage and a .443 slugging percentage. And now Waddell has to step off the rubber, and Bowman has his attention out there at second.
Yeah, and he's making him think about it right now. 3-1 count. Don't want to walk the guy here, so Bowman play a little bit of that gamesmanship.
Williams hits from the right side, the freshman out of Amory High School. And a little change up and a swing and a miss. 3-2 the count. Well, the count is full with 2 outs. That means Bowman will get an extra start. Maybe another step or 2 with the pitch at second. Gill he'll be off with the pitch as well at first. Let's see what Williams can do against Waddell here on the 3-2 offering. There go the runners, and this one's fouled off, and we'll do it again. We've got ICC and Northwest baseball today. Tomorrow, a key doubleheader for our ICC Lady Indians at Northwest.
Yeah, it's almost like it's Northwest week this week. Golf wrapping up the Northwest Invitational this week. Baseball today. Softball and tennis tomorrow. So it always tends to happen that way, too. We just happen to load up on, you almost call it Red and Blue Week.
How about that?
If you will.
I like that. Red and Blue Week. Waddell steps off the rubber. And he's looking in and getting a sign from his catcher, Austin. 3-2 count. There go the runners. Fastball inside, ball 4. And the bases are now loaded. We're juiced for Austin Welch.
Number 26, Austin Welch.
And here comes Mark Carson, the head coach, also the pitching coach for Northwest. Let's take a 30-second timeout. The bases are loaded. Bottom of the third. Indians trail 3-1.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Indians have something brewing here in the bottom of the third, trailing 3-1. Mark Carson is on his way back to the Northwest dugout. There's 2 outs. Indians trail 3-1. And Austin Welch stepping in, the DH, the sophomore from Hamilton High School, bounced into a fielder's choice to end the first. Fastball high, 1-0 the count to Welch.
Big time for a hit right here for Austin.
That would be wonderful. Welch, who was one of our co-Sonic stars of the game in our first broadcast of the year at Northeast a couple weeks ago. There's a strike called. 1-1 the count. Drove in 3 in that game 1 at Northeast. He can drive in a couple here with a base hit. Curveball, fly ball to right field. It's playable. Sexton drifting back a step or 2, and that takes care of ICC in the third. The Indians actually had 4 base runners but did not score. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 3 were left. We played 3, and Northwest leads Itawamba 3-1.
Are you looking for a better job? Let Itawamba Community College help. Earning a college degree has never been more important, and it's easier than you think. ICC has the programs to train you for a career that's in demand now. We're convenient with locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden. We offer flexible scheduling options, including online and shortened programs. And we're the most affordable in the entire state. Financial aid is also available to those who qualify. For more information, call us today or check out our website. Your future starts here at ICC. ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's a winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
We're heading to the top of the 4th inning. ICC with a golden opportunity last half inning to cut into this lead for Northwest. It's 3-1, Rangers over the Indians. And you really don't want to go too deep against Northwest trailing. Kevin Maloney, our good friend, Adam.
You're a good friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. He told us earlier today that after 4 innings with the lead, Northwest is 16-1 this year. So this is a team that you want to jump on early because after 5 when leading, they're 15-1, and after 6 leading, they're 14-1 this year. So they can get a lead and they close it down. And that's what good pitching will do for you.
Absolutely.
And they got some good arms. First pitch from Brooks is sent high down the left field line. Wheeler with the long run, and it drifts out of play. Good hustle there by Wheeler on the first pitch to Luke Latham, the DH. Latham had an RBI base hit back in that 3-run second. That's been the difference in this game with Northwest leading here in the top of the 4th, 3-1. Latham, we talked about it in his first at-bat. He's 2nd in the nation with 6 home runs this year. Hits 8th in the lineup for Northwest. There's a strike called. 0-2 the count. He's got 6 home runs and hits 8th. ICC as a team has 10 home runs. Gill leads the way with 4, 2 each for Luke Gibbs, Drew Wheeler, and Andy Bowman. Pitches in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Brooks was trying to see if Latham might want to do a little fishing on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon.
Pretty sure some people out on the river doing that today.
I bet they are. We're just off the banks of the Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway here in Fulton. This one's bounced foul into the ICC dugout on the third base side. Latham hits from the right side with Hunter Austin on deck, and then they'll go to the top of the order and James Lear. There's a ground ball right back up the middle and a base hit to lead off the top of the fourth for Latham. He's now 2 for 2, and Latham is the guy starting the day, hitting just .218.
Yeah, didn't hit that one hard, didn't do anything fancy, just reached down, got it, put it where we weren't, and they were able to get on base.
So Brooks now will face Hunter Austin, the catcher. He bounced into a big double play back then in the third. Otherwise, it could have been a lot worse for the Indians. He's showing bunt, pops it up, and Hayden Williams can't quite get to it. Boy, great effort by Hayden. He got out of that squatting position pretty quickly, didn't he?
He did, and just to get that close was impressive. Not only that, disregarded the helmet and was able to get out there. I think if maybe not the crush brick, he might have dove for it, but
yes.
Yeah, I'm not diving in the crush brick either.
No, we need Hayden Williams. I mean, an out is big, but we need Hayden Williams this year. We can't have him out with the injury bug. Here's the pitch. This one's popped up, fouled out of play. Well, that fastball ran in on the hands of Hunter Austin, and he popped this one out. So he's tried 2 bunts. Both have been bunted, foul, and now Brooks is ahead 0-2.
Yeah, good pair of pitches, seeing the bunt, so you want to go with a high fastball, see if you can't get a pop out or something like that. So good job attacking the bunt situation.
Here's the 0-2 from Brooks to Austin. Check swing. He did not commit. Ball was in the dirt. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, not a bad pitch. Breaking ball that was in the dirt. After throwing 2 high fastballs like that, see if you can't just get them chasing a pitch like that. So unfortunately, just couldn't get him to chase.
Austin hitting at .408. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. Actually now hitting at .400 after that double play ground ball his first time up. This one's popped up, out of play, third base side. And the count remains 1-2. So Austin is 20 out of 50 at the plate so far this year. Has not scored a run. Most catchers in the league will have a pinch runner, but of course ICC, Hayden Williams, with the good wheels that Hayden has, he stays and runs on his own. That ball in the dirt, and the throw down to second is not in time, so the wild pitch sends Latham to second. And so Northwest tried to sacrifice Latham to second. Austin pops up 2 of them foul, and they still get the runner to second with Austin still at the plate at 2-2 the count.
Yeah, and it's just been that type of year for the Indians. I mean, the breaks have beaten the boys so many times, and I know we sound like a broken record saying that over and over again, but that is the case.
Brooks checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Bounced in between hop to Gill. Stares the runner back to second. Throws a strike over to first. And as soon as he threw the ball, the runner took off to third. And the throw is a little wide, but nice job ICC backing it up. And then we had a collision there between Gill and Latham.
Yeah, that's 2 big dudes over there at third colliding with each other. So you see both of them kind of walking it off right there.
Yeah, we cannot afford getting Ethan Gill hurt. He is one of our most valuable players, if not the most valuable player. Here, with a runner at third, there's a squeeze and a beauty. They'll bunt it, and it's going to be an infield single as well. So they had the squeeze on, and James Lear, with that great speed, he placed it perfectly down the first base line, and a bunt single scores Latham, and it's now 4-1 Northwest.
Yeah, and you called it right, Will. That was a perfect bunt. Put it right where we didn't have a chance for the second baseman to cover, and Bowman just did the best he could to try to get the out at first. So, tell you, Northwest is clicking.
And here comes Justin Bryan, and we might have a call to the bullpen. With 4-1 the score, Northwest leads here in the top of the fourth. There is 1 out, and Justin Bryan is looking down toward the bullpen to see if the Indian is ready. And it looks like the day is done for Nick Brooks, as Brooks goes 3 1/3 innings, and we've got our first Predator Pest Control pitching change of the afternoon. 4-1 Northwest in the top of the fourth. We'll tell you who the new Indian hurler is right after this 60-second timeout.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. always ready, always there. The National Guard is on. Give Dan the Pizza Man a call at 2-4000.
ICC Sports 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, today's news, stories, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
So we have our first Predator Pest Control pitching change of the afternoon. It'll be right-hander Destin Hahn, the 6'1", 180-pound freshman out of Amory High School. He'll come on to pitch for Itawamba here in the top of the fourth, with Northwest leading 4-1, as Hahn will try to quiet these Ranger bats. Brooks goes 3 1/3, and he gave up 7 hits and 4 runs, although the runner at first, Lear, is his responsibility. And Hahn now, with 1 out, is in to pitch for Itawamba. Hahn making his 5th appearance. He has a 0-1 record, and he has struggled a bit this year. 2 innings pitched in his first 4 appearances, 7 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them have been earned. And Hahn working on a 36 earned run average. Let's see what Hahn can do here for Itawamba, facing the right-handed hitting Tanner Densford. Densford has already signed with Christian Brothers. Throw over to first.
Out of Tennessee.
That's right, Memphis area. They got Waddell already signed, the starting pitcher with Delta State. Ferguson, another right-handed pitcher we might see in game 2, not sure, fouled this one straight back. He is signed with Memphis. And they got Tanner Cable, another pitcher who was drafted last year by Toronto, the Blue Jays. Came back for his sophomore year at Northwest. 0-1 the count to Densford with the runner at first, Lear. In the top of the fourth, it's 4-1 Rangers. Another throw back to first by Hahn. This is our 7th game we broadcasted already this year for ICC Baseball. And Hahn, I think, has pitched now in 3 of the 7. Pitches low and outside. 1-1 the count with 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Northwest and ICC, this is a battle for 4th place in the North. Remember, the top 4 go to the postseason. And Rick Collier's been to the postseason every year that he's been the head coach at ICC. That pitch is low and outside. 2-1 the count. Densford is 0 for 2 today. A fly out to Butler in right, and he popped up to Bowman in foul territory at first base to end the second. Hahn checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Slapped into right field, a base hit. And the runner will stop at second. So Densford with his first hit of the game. He's now 1 for 3. Lear, who has reached base twice already today, stops at second. And here's Jay King, the shortstop.
Yeah, Northwest has done well today. I mean, they're hitting it through the holes, hitting it through the gaps.
Batting number 1, Jay.
And they're not doing anything big. We talked about all the home runs they've hit, but they've shown, today they can string together some hits and manufacture some runs.
Yeah, they really have. They've got a 4-1 lead, but only 1 extra base hit. That was Hollenbach, who's on deck, had that double to start the second. Here's this week's Player of the Week in the MACJC, Jay King. First pitch is low, 1-0 the count. Last week, Jay King was 8 of 19 at the plate. He had 3 home runs, a double. He drove in 16 runs, had 8 runs scored, had a .947 slugging percentage and a .480 on-base percentage in 1 week, as the Rangers won 4 of the 6. I mean, those are great numbers in wiffle ball.
Absolutely.
And he did that against some good competition in North Division.
And that's what I was going to say. Not only did he do it against some of the no offense to anyone listening, lesser teams out there, but he did it against some very quality and very good programs.
He's ahead of the count, 2-0. He's 0 for 2 so far today. This one's laced down the third base line. Fair ball, and it's going to be extra bases. It's going to go all the way into the corner. 1 run will score. Selby is asking Densford to score all the way from first. There will not be a throw. And a stand-up double for King. A 2-run double as Lear scored easily from second. And Densford showing some good wheels. Scored all the way from first. It's 3 runs now in the inning. And it's now 6-1 Northwest.
Yeah, just one of those where a foot that way, that's what we got, a foot the other way, and it's a foul ball. So just a tough break for the Indians right there. Gill gave it a good shot, trying to get the diving stop across the way.
That's 37 runs batted in this year for King. That's second best in the country. There's a ground ball hit to the right side. Bryce Williams has it. Flips over to first to take care of Kramer Hollenbach. That's saying something because Hollenbach was 2 for 2 today with a double and a run scored. And so now there's 2 outs here in the fourth. The runner King goes to third, and here's Chase Clark, the first baseman. He's been to the plate twice, both walks against ICC starter Nick Brooks. Walked and scored in the second, walked in the third, stole second. Curveball inside, 1-0 the count, and was stranded at third. That was back just an inning ago. They're through their lineup 2.5 times already in the first 4 innings for Northwest. Popped up. Third base side, it will drift out of play, and 1-1 the count to Chase Clark with Taylor King on deck.
Yeah, still got to be careful right now. We just got to get this out, try to get out of this inning because this part of the lineup for Northwest has produced well this season. When you take a look at their production, and as you said, you take a look at their hitting, it's really surprising to see that this is a 7-11 team.
Yes, it's amazing. 17-11 starting the day, 5-5 in the north. That foul ball, he line drive just about got Jay King, the runner at third. He got down in a hurry.
Yeah, now that's 2 former high school teammates. If that had been a kid from Calhoun City, they probably would have gotten a fight.
That rivalry is still real today, isn't it?
Oh, more so than ever. Maybe one of the most underrated rivalries in the state.
Calhoun City and Bruce. I remember covering some of those games back in the day. My previous life, that pitch is low and outside, and the count is even at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Clark at the dish with Taylor King on deck. Clark hitting .342 starting the day with 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Here's Hahn. There's a swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Destin. That strikeout, the first of the afternoon for Hahn, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue, open every weekday morning for lunch, of course for breakfast as well, right here in Fulton. In the inning, 3 more runs for Northwest on 4 hits. There were no errors, and 1 was left at third. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Northwest leads at Itawamba 6-1.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, Trustmark Bank, Larry Clark Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop, the National Guard, the Daily Journal, and Pisons Pizza.
Will Colmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Northwest leads our ICC Indians 6-1. ICC will send the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters. That's Poole, Butler, and Johnson against right-hander Cody Waddell. Time for a game analysis brought to you by Weatherall Printing. What's been the story so far, Adam?
They've just got the hits and we haven't, and unfortunately, as we've said before, that's just kind of been the theme this season. We've had runners in scoring position. We've had the opportunity to put runs on the board, but not always been able to get those taken care of.
There's a bunt attempt by Tanner Poole. Popped it up and hit the ground maybe about 10 feet toward home plate from the hill, the mound, and a nice play there by Cody Waddell to fire over to first to take care of Tanner Poole.
Yeah, that pitch was on the inside, so he still trying to get contact with the bunt on, trying to sneak on a hit that time, so popped it up and made it a routine out for the Rangers.
Here's Gable Butler. First pitch swinging, a ground ball up the middle, and just off the glove of Densford. So base hit by Gable Butler, his first of the afternoon. He's now 1 for 2. That'll help Gable's 283 batting average. Gable now 14 out of 48 at the plate this year. And on base percentage now is getting closer to 350. Here's Russ Johnson, the freshman out of Hatley, caught looking to end the second. Johnson playing short in game 1 today.
He's played pretty well at the shortstop spot for us today. One of those where he flips between second and short, which speaks good for him defensively because, when you look at baseball, you're working off 2 different angles in a dramatic form in that way.
This one's fouled out of play to the right of us. You're exactly right. Russ hitting at 276 starting the day. No home runs, 4 runs batted in. With that strikeout his first time up, he's now 8 for 30. So that average drops to 267 now. So it dropped 9 points after that strikeout his first time up. That pitch is low. 2-1 the count to Johnson. The runner at first is Butler. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. The Rangers lead our Indians 6-1 in game 1 of a doubleheader. Very few slots are left in the parking lot. The crowd continues to grow. There's a base hit in the hole on the left side, and so back-to-back base hits by Butler and now Russ Johnson. And the Indians with a little fight in them here in the bottom of the 4th.
But, they may have listened to the broadcast. Earlier I said, the middle to lower part of the lineup hasn't, come through for us much this year. And now they've got back-to-back hits here with 1 out, trying to get something sparked here.
We left the bases loaded last inning. In fact, he had 4 base runners, but a 4-6-3 double play was a bit of a rally killer in that one. That pitch is high and inside to Bryce Williams. He got a base hit his first time up. So Bryce now with 14 hits and 57 at-bats, and that batting average now over 240 on the year. 1-0 the count. Waddell and Williams slaps one right back up the middle. It's a base hit, and Justin Bryant has to hold the runner at third, down 6-1. Got to play a little conservatively, but 3 consecutive singles for Itawamba. After Poole tried to bunt his way on to start off this 4th. Base hit by Butler, base hit by Johnson, and now Bryce Williams.
And here's a guy that's due today, Drew Wheeler. I believe he grounded to a double play his last time up, but once again, one of these sophomore leaders that we really need to step up in a big way here.
Yeah, Wheeler 0 for 2. He popped up to the second baseman, Densford, to lead off the bottom of the 1st. Drew starting the day hitting at .317 with 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Curveball and a terrific bender there. Catches the outside corner at the knees. Andy Bowman is on deck at 6-1 Northwest, bottom of the 4th, but the Indians trying to get back in it. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, and the bases are full of Indians. That pitch is low. Count is even at 1-1.
Yeah, really need to spark a rally here. We've talked about Northwest being able to manufacture some runs, and it's about time the Indians do the same.
Wheeler starting the day with a .420 on base percentage. That ball is low in the dirt. Nice job by Austin. Knocked it down. It got away from Austin, but not far enough for the runner at third, Butler, to score. And now Wheeler with a 2-1 count. He's driven in 14. He can add to that total with this at-bat. Butler's at third, Johnson is at second, and Bryce Williams at first. Curveball again in the dirt, and again Austin knocks it down. But now a 3-1 count to Drew Wheeler. The sophomore out of Moorville High School, 26 now out of 84 this year at the plate. In the leadoff spot here today in game 1. 3-1. Fastball low, and the Indians get a run, a bases-loaded walk as Butler will trot home. Johnson goes to the third, Bryce Williams goes to second, and Drew Wheeler gets an RBI, his 15th of the year. And here comes Mark Carson, the head coach for Northwest, also the pitching coach for the Rangers. With the bases loaded and only one out here in the bottom of the fourth, Northwest leads 6-2. We're back in 30 seconds on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Mark Carson for Northwest is heading back to his dugout as the Indians have the bases loaded, still only one out. And here's Andy Bowman, who has reached base both times against Waddell. Bases are loaded, still only one out. ICC has scored a run now in the bottom of the fourth to cut it to 6-2. Here's Bowman. Pitches low, 1-0 the count. Bowman got a double in the first, went to third on a wild pitch and scored on an Ethan Gill RBI groundout, then walked in the third and was stranded at third. That's when we left the bases loaded last inning, but we're getting plenty of base runners. You just got to get the big hits. Rick Collier talked about it on our Davis Ford pregame show. Fastball, great location right there at the corner at the knees, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, and as we said, that's just been the case all year, just not able to come up with those timely hits.
See what Bowman can do here. A grounder to first. They'll go to the plate for one, and they get the force on Russ Johnson, so Bowman reaches on a fielder's choice as Clark throws to Austin to force Johnson at the plate. So everybody moves up one. Bryce Williams to third, Drew Wheeler at second, and Bowman reaches on the fielder's choice. Now it's up to Ethan Gill. Got to get more than just one run here. Let's see what Gill can do. He's got an RBI ground out in the first, then hit a smash, a base hit up the middle his last time up. Pitches low, 1-0 the count, with Hayden Williams on deck. The Indians loaded the bases in the third, did not score. They loaded the bases in this inning with one out, got a bases loaded walk to Wheeler. There's a strike called, 1-1 the count. Bowman has bounced into a fielder's choice, so the bases are still loaded with two outs. Gill 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Pitches low and outside. Waddell pitching very carefully to Ethan Gill.
Yeah, he's one of those breaking ball pitchers don't like to see, because if you hang something up to him, he can send it for a ride.
And if Gill sends it for a ride, we're knotted at 6. He had the big cut, fouled straight back over our heads here in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth. And the count is even at 2-2 with two outs. Gill, last week in our last broadcast, hit a home run in each game against Coahoma. He sends this one out of play to the right, and we'll do it again.
Good battle at the plate by Gill right now. 2-2 count with two outs. Just trying to get anything in there going right now for the Indians. They trail this one 6-2 with bases loaded.
You can see both those Gill home runs on the ICC Athletic website. Go to the baseball homepage. That pitch is high. Popped out of Austin's mitt, but not far enough for any advancement. Now the count is even at 3-2 and two outs. All of the runners will be off with the pitch. So if Gill can get a base hit somewhere, we'll score at least two. Hits one in the gap, we can get three. There's a one-hopper to third. Charging it is Taylor King. His throw is low, and it gets past the first baseman, and that will allow another run to score So the Indians take advantage of an error by the third baseman Taylor King, and that scores 2 runs as Williams scored easily from third. Wheeler was off with the pitch at second, so he scores from second. Bowman goes from first to third. No RBI on the play, but that's all right. It's now 4 runs on the game for ICC, and the Indians only trail 6-4 now.
Right, and that's one thing we talked about, Will. We haven't been getting any breaks, and that was really our first big break of the game right there. Ethan hit a hard hit ball and was able to force a bad throw across the way.
So here, fastball is high and inside to Hayden Williams. Boy, if Hayden can get a base hit here, we can cut it to 1 run. Williams is 1 for 1 officially. Had a double in the first, a stand-up double down the left field line, and then he walked in the third. That pitch is high. 2-0 the count. 6-4. Rangers lead the Indians, but ICC has counterpunched that 3 spot in the top of the 4th with one of their own in the bottom of the 4th. Waddell checks the runners. Fastball high. 3-0 the count to Hayden Williams with Austin Welch, the DH, on deck. 6-4 Rangers with the lead over the Indians here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 3-0. Williams taking all the way. Strike called. 3-1 the count.
Good at bat right now by Williams. Get on base and try to keep this rally going.
Williams starting the day with a .393 batting average, which leads the team. Gill is second at .391, and there's ball 4. It didn't look like that Waddell wanted much of Hayden Williams. So that loads the bases, and now it's up to Austin Welch. He had the bases loaded his last time up with 2 outs, and he flew out to right field. Let's see what Welch can do here. He's the 9th batter to face Waddell here in the 4th.
Yeah, right now it'd be a big time for Welch to make up for that last fly out here with something hit hard through the gap.
Here's the first pitch, a curveball. Boy, Waddell's got a good bender as a strike call at the knees. 0-1 the count. Welch starting the day, hitting at .298, no home runs, 9 runs batted in. He can get double digits with runs batted in this year with a base hit here. This one's fouled down the third base line. Slow roller, and it's 0-2 the count. So now Welch has to guard the dish, maybe choke up a bit, try to put something in play with the bases loaded. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The Indians have benefited from a big 2-out error by Taylor King. That scored 2 runs, 2 of the 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 0-2 to Welch. Check swing on the curveball low and outside. Did not commit.
Not a bad pitch that time. You know, you got a throwaway pitch. Could have seen if you get him chase one, but a good job by the catcher that time, keeping it in front of him.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd throw it really away. It almost did. Wild pitch. And he gets Bean in the back. How about Welch taking one for the team? A fastball. That's going to smart a bit, but it's going to bring in a run, and we've cut it to 1, and it's time for a Predator Pest Control pitching change for Northwest, as here comes Mark Carson, and we'll have a call to the bullpen, and this is Waddell's roughest appearance of the year so far. Started the day with a 4-0 record and a 1.24 earned run average. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. The ICC Indians have cut it to 1 here in the bottom of the 4th, 6-5 here on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
So Will Faulkner is the new pitcher for Northwest here in the bottom of the fourth. The Predator Pest Control pitching change. So Waddell goes 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 5 runs. Of course, not all of them have been earned. And here is Will Faulkner, and Adam Will is a 6'2", 195-pound sophomore right-hander from Houston High School.
Yeah, Faulkner name is a name synonymous with baseball out in Chickasaw County. But, Will, one thing I like about him, check out the stirrups and the old-school look he's got out there.
Yeah.
Got the high socks, so sort of throwing it back a little old school there.
Let's see what the Indians can do here as Austin Welch, that was his 10th RBI of the year, that bases loaded hit by pitch. And with 0-2 the count, and he had the bases loaded, Welch, there's no way he was going to get out of the way, even though it was a fastball. And here's Tanner Poole. He started this inning with a bunt attempt, but grounded back to Waddell.
Absolutely. So a good opportunity to make up for that here and drive in some runs.
The 10th batter to face Ranger pitching here in the bottom of the fourth. 6-5 Northwest, but ICC has scored 4. First pitch is low, 1-0 the count.
Yeah, tough situation for Faulkner to come into right now. Bases loaded with 2 outs and a 1-run lead.
This is the 6th appearance of the year for Faulkner. 5 of those have been in relief. Hit one deep to left, but it's hooking foul, way out of play.
Wow, he hit that one hard enough that he knocked some limbs out of the tree.
Yeah, he hit it right there on the screws. Just got to wait on it a little bit. Faulkner has an 0-1 record with a 6.72 earned run average. He's given up 13 hits in 8 1/3 innings. Let's see what Poole can do here. He gets plunked on a curveball, and that's going to score another run. So that will allow Gill to score from third. Hayden Williams goes to... I beg your pardon. Gill scores. Williams to third. Yes. Welch to second. And now Poole is on at first. And that hit by pitch gives Tanner his 6th run batted in of the year.
Had a good job once again taking it for the team. Had a chance to get out of the way, but instead stood in there and took it and pushed across the tying run.
Here's Butler at the plate. He fouls this one out of play. 0-1 the count to Butler. He got a base hit with 1 out earlier in this inning. And then we got consecutive hits out of Johnson and then Bryce Williams following Butler, and that got this whole inning started. Wheeler had a bases-loaded walk to score the first run. There's a fly ball into left center field, and coming over and making a nice long running catch was Lear, and that takes care of ICC in the 4th inning. But the Indians score 5 in the frame, and they did it on 3 base hits. There was 1 big error, and we left the bases loaded for the 2nd straight inning. We've played 4. We're tied at 6 between ICC and Northwest.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, we got a different feel at the ballpark now, don't we, Adam, as we head to the top of the 5th, ICC with 5 in the bottom of the 4th, and we've knotted this game at 6, and we've knocked their ace out of the game.
Yeah, and that's big. You know, we were able to come back, and not only did we were able to tie the game, but we did it ultimately manufacturing runs. Only had 3 hits that inning. We was able to push across some runs. Guys doing it there, taking stuff for the team, and doing an excellent job of pushing runs across.
So, Destin Hahn now in relief for Brooks is now the pitcher of record for ICC, and he'll face the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Taylor King, Steven Sexton, and Luke Latham. And a hit by pitch to start the inning. That's not the way you want to start this top of the 5th. And now Taylor King is on base for the 3rd straight time, as here comes Justin Bryant. And we might have a call to the bullpen. Yep. Taylor King, 2 for 2 now with a hit by pitch. And here comes Tucker Aiken. We got another Predator Pest Control pitching change. We're tied at 6, top of the 5th. We're back in 60 seconds on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
We're in the top of the 5th inning, and Destin Hahn is done. And here is Tucker Aiken in a 6-6 game, coming on to pitch. Another Predator Pest Control pitching change. Give Ted Weatherford, his son Clay Weatherford, a call for all your insect needs. And Tucker Aiken, Rick Collier talked about on the pregame show, he was thinking about starting Aiken in Game 2 unless he was needed in Game 1. And Justin Bryant calling for Aiken here to pitch in Game 1.
Absolutely, and as we talked about, the big lefty coming in, he throws a lot of variety of pitches at you, and he's a guy that can come in and really keep some bats quiet in this situation, so hopefully he can do that with a runner on first, no outs, and the game tied here in the top of the 5th.
And first pitch is a strike call to Steven Sexton, the right fielder, walked in the 2nd, caught looking in the 3rd. Those at-bats were against Nick Brooks, the ICC starter. And he's off the hook for the decision. That pitch is a strike now. 0-2 the count. 0-2 the count with nobody out here in the top of the 5th, with ICC tied with Northwest. Pitch is high on the fastball. Luke Latham is on deck. Sexton this year hitting at .267 starting the day with a home run and 20 runs batted in. Now calling time.
Apparently
call a balk?
Balk. I didn't see anything. I think it was called by the infield umpire. Not sure on that one.
The home plate umpire looked toward the ICC dugout. So the balk puts a runner at 2nd with nobody out. Here's Sexton. Fouls this one straight back. The count remains 1-2. When you take a look at what Tucker Aiken has done this year, this is his 7th appearance. He's got a 2-0 record, a 4.66 earned run average. Pitched 19 in the 3rd inning, giving up 16 hits, 12 runs, 10 of those were earned. 15 strikeouts for Tucker in 19 in the 3rd innings, walked 6. And there is a pitch just a bit high. That Tucker Aiken really wanted that one. We did up here too, Tucker.
I think everybody that's affiliated with ICC wanted that one too. Wow.
So 2-2 the count. Sexton played at TCPS. This one's fouled straight back. Knows Tucker. Tucker started out his high school career at Tupelo Christian Prep before finishing at Madison Ridgeland Academy.
Yeah, the two exchanged friendly words, not ill feel words, as he was running to the mound. Kind of tipped their hat at each other. They knew they wanted to go to battle right here.
Here's the curveball is high and outside. 3-2 the count to Sexton. Aiken started out his freshman year, first 12 innings, had not allowed a run. And that's ball 4 high, and a walk to Sexton puts runners at first and second, and that's the second walk to Sexton.
There you go.
Easy for me to say.
A little tongue tire there. So, but yeah, tough break there for Aiken, because I sure thought that one pitch was it. He throws a weird breaking ball at times. He comes over the top and it goes 12-6.
Mm-hmm.
And if an umpire isn't ready for that, a lot of times he's not going to ring you up on a pitch like that.
Showing bunt. pulling the trigger back, low, 1-0 the count. This is the right-handed hitting DH, Luke Latham. He's 8th in the lineup, but he's 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. He's also 2nd in the nation in home runs with 6. That pitch is inside. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, we don't need him to add to that total right now.
Hunter Austin is on deck. That runner at second is King. That is Hahn's responsibility. There's a bunt to first. Bowman flips over to Bryce Williams covering. That takes care of Latham on the sacrifice bunt, brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Chris Burrows, been in charge of the BSU since 1996. Chris and all of his BSU members would like to remind all of us of the ultimate sacrifice made on our behalf. So now we've got runners at second and third with 1 out, and here's Hunter Austin, the catcher. We're in a 6-6 tie in the top of the 5th. ICC jumped out to the early 1-0 lead after 1. Northwest scored 3 in the top of the 2nd. Here's a fly ball hit to deep left field. Wheeler back to the wall, and he makes the catch at the base of the wall. But it's going to be deep enough for a sacrifice fly as Austin hits a sac fly to left. And, of course, all sacrifice flies and sacrifice bunts are brought to you by the Baptist Student Union.
Absolutely. Got a little worried there for a second. That one had a little bit more legs than we had wanted. Took Wheeler back to the fence. Did a good job of getting that one in and keeping the runner on second because he knew he didn't have a chance at the runner at home.
Yeah, King scores. That's Taylor King, and it's 7-6 Northwest. There's 2 outs here, and here's the leadoff hitter, James Lear. Showing bunt, pulled the trigger back, and a strike call on a nice curveball by Tucker Aiken.
Yeah, it's that big breaker that he likes to throw, and he throws it from different angles. Like I said, he can come in. That one was more, I guess you say, 1-7 than 12-6. And that one there was no more of those over-the-top ones that he throws, and that one 12-6. So he gives you a lot of different pitches that he can throw for a strike, and I tell you, I really just like the way he is because he just loads up and chunks it.
Yeah, he's a battler out there. 0-2 the count to Lear. That ball in the dirt. Nice job by Hayden Williams, keeping it in front of him. 1-2 the count with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Northwest leads 7-6.
And that's what you like to see as a breaking ball pitcher with your catcher, a guy that you know you can put one in the dirt, see if you can't pick up a cheap strike 3, getting him to chase one. But that time the batter held off on it.
Here's the pitch in the dirt. Got away from Williams. The throw down to third is not in time. So a wild pitch sends the runner to third. That's Sexton with 2 outs. Lear at the plate now has a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Lear popped up to Brooks to lead off the game, was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, then had an RBI single back in that 4th inning. And there's a swing and a miss, and Aiken strikes out James Lear, and that takes care of Northwest. That's a strikeout for Aiken, his first, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. But in the inning, Northwest gets a run on no hits. There were no errors, and 1 was left at third. We played 4.5, and Northwest leads ICC 7-6.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties. Davis Ford, Coke, First American National Bank, Itawamba Community College, and Auto, Air, and Electric.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Northwest leads 7-6. The Indians, which sent 11 batters to the plate last inning and scoring 5 runs, will have the number 8, 9, and 1 hitters. That's Russ Johnson, Bryce Williams, and then the top of the order and Drew Wheeler facing Will Faulkner, who is the pitcher of record now for Northwest. Johnson, his last time up, got a base hit. There's a swing and a miss, strike one. He was caught looking his first at-bat, so Russ is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Faulkner from Houston High School. And there's a fly ball into short right field. And going to make the play is the second baseman, Densford, and that takes care of Russ Johnson for the first out here in the fifth.
Not an easy out there for the second baseman as you're looking back into the sun, especially going up that high with a non-cloudy type day. So it tends to, the higher the ball goes up, the more your eyes want to focus on the blue versus the white. So tough out.
Here's Bryce Williams, who is 2 for 2 today. Got a base hit to lead off the third, and then had a base hit and scored last inning. And a curveball hits him. So Faulkner with his second hit batsman. And Bryce Williams has reached base all 3 times. We talked with Bryce in the parking lot a week ago after that doubleheader sweep of Coahoma. He was kind of a little bit frustrated because he's been hitting the ball so hard, and just a matter of time before some of those will start coming into some base hits. He was hitting them right at folks.
Yeah, and that's very frustrating as a batter because, I mean, you're seeing the ball well, and you're knocking the cover off of it, but you're just unable to put it where they ain't, as they like to say. So, just one of the things you got to battle through, and eventually want to drop, and then hopefully another and another and another after that.
Here's Drew Wheeler. He had a bases-loaded walk back in the fourth. That scored the first run of that 5-run fourth inning. Fastball is high, 1-0 the count. Wheeler popped up to the second baseman Densford his first time up, then bounced into a 4-6-3 double play in the third. So he's 0 for 2 with a run scored and a run batted in. This one's popped up out of play to the right of us in our ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth.
Yeah, Wheeler once again, he's a gritty guy. He's going to battle each, and he's going to be a tough out each time he comes to the plate.
Faulkner checks the runner, checks him again. And the fastball, strike called on the outside corner, 1-2 the count.
Well, the umpire's been consistent with that today. He's given that outside corner, especially to these breaking ball pitchers. So it's one of those, when you go to the plate, you got to know anything towards the outside. You either got to battle and try to foul it off and keep the bat alive.
1-2 the count to the right-handed hitting Drew Wheeler. Chokes up a bit with 2 strikes. And a beautiful change-up, swing and a miss. Snap throw down to first and diving back safely. Barely was Bryce Williams.
Yeah, once again, too close for comfort on that one, as I think a little bit quicker slap tag might have got him, because Bryce had a big lead there, looking to try to possibly go on a little hit-and-run situation with that big swing by Wheeler. So unfortunate that Wheeler struck out, but fortunate we didn't get doubled up on that one.
That strikeout by Drew, the first of the afternoon for Faulkner, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. There's a pickoff, and just barely getting back is Bryce Williams. He's got a pretty good lead. That was a heck of a pickoff by Faulkner.
It really was, and impressed by Bryce out there, able to get back. As you said, he's taken a healthy lead, and there's another throwback. And these have been close each time. So Bryce living dangerously out there.
He's the tying runner. It's 7-6 Rangers here in the bottom of the fifth. The first of 2 on a gorgeous Tuesday afternoon here in North Mississippi. There's a bouncer, one hopper right to the first baseman, Clark, and that takes care of Andy Bowman. And that also takes care of the Indians in the fifth. No runs, no hits, there were no errors, and 1 was left. We've left 8 on the bases through 5 innings. We go to the 6th. It's 7-6 Northwest.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's a winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
We're back here at Roy Crescent Field as we head to the top of the sixth. Northwest leads ICC 7-6. Alongside Adam Gore, I'm Will Kohlmeyer. Tina Harlow is our studio engineer for the second straight day down at FM 95 Studios in Amory.
I think I can talk Miss Tina into going to Senatobia with me tomorrow to help with that broadcast.
We'll wait for Tina's reaction in our ear on that one.
She may have to wait till after we get off the air before she can reply if she wants to.
Tucker Aiken is out on the hill again for Itawamba, and he will face the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters. That's Densford, Jay King, and Kramer Hollenbach for the red and blue of Northwest. In front of an outstanding crowd here at Roy Crescent Field. Pitch is high, 1-0 the count.
Yeah, showed bunt that time, but I pulled it off as soon as he showed it just to see how the defense would react.
Here's the 1-0. Laced down the left field line and hits the chalk, and it's going to be extra bases for Tanner Densford.
Another one of those hits, and a foot the other way, and it's a foul ball. So, it's just a tough break there for the Indians today, and that's been the second or third time we've seen one get on the positive side of the foul line for the Rangers.
So a leadoff double for Densford. He was retired his first 2 times at the plate, but he had a base hit and scored in the 4th, and now a double here in the 6th. He's 2 for 4, and here's Jay King, who had a 2-run double his last time up, and he tried to bunt it, and he bunts it foul toward the Northwest dugout on the first base side of things here at Roy Crescent Field.
Yeah, Northwest is not afraid to small ball you to death. That's what they like to do. If they get a runner on in scoring position, no outs, you just go ahead and write it down. They're going to bunt and try to advance him even more.
King now with 37 runs batted in on the year after that 2-run double. Pitches outside, 1-1 the count. 5 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Hitting at over .430 now on the year. He has started every one of their 29 games this year, and why not? He's this week's Player of the Week in the MACJC, the second time he's won that honor this year. 2-1 the count. Aiken's curveball was high. Jay King, 1 of 3 on the day. A ground out and a fly out his first 2 times up. And you got the dangerous Kramer Hollenbach on deck. There's a grounder to short. In between hop by Russ Johnson, throw over to first, chest high to Andy Bowman, and that's the first out, and that's a big pitch by Aiken, and a nice play by the shortstop Russ Johnson to get Jay King.
Yeah, and that was tough for Johnson because the ball was hit hard, but a couple of times whenever it hit the grass, it died a lot quicker, so when he was set up for it, he actually had to run up and get it and then make the throw to get out a speedy King over at first.
Here's Kramer Hollenbach. He's reached base now in 25 straight games. There goes the runner. Try to steal third. The throw is high, and another stolen base for Northwest as they keep that foot on the pedal, don't they?
They do, and that's what we said. They put a lot of pressure on the defense. They like to play small ball. They got some guys that can swing the bat and then some speed on the bases. So, on this level of play, that's a formula for success.
Fly ball to left field. Wheeler is camped under it. There'll be a play at the plate. Here comes the throw from Wheeler. The tag from third, and slided in safely is Densford. And how about that important stolen base, because that sets up the sac fly to left by Kramer Hollenbach. That sacrifice fly brought to you by the Baptist Student Union.
And that's what we talked about. They put that pressure on you, and then once they do get a guy in scoring position or in third, they got guys that can swing a big bat and put a fly ball deep enough out there that you'll be able to sacrifice a run in. So, that's how they have this lead on a pair of sacrifice flies.
So it's now 8-6. First pitch is fouled straight back to Chase Clark. That sacrifice fly brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Chris Burrows, we talk about, the BSU, but I'll tell you what, the Baptist Student Union is also in charge of the concession stand, and Brother Chris and the folks from the BSU always take care of us up here in the booth.
Absolutely, and I tell you, and I'm not just saying this because Brother Chris and company, but they're so just nice. I used to go talk to them before the game, and they're yes sir, no sir, and things to that nature.
Pop up, and Aiken drops the pop-up by Chase Clark. And that's an error on Tucker. And that keeps the inning alive with 2 outs.
Yeah, that's tough right there because that would have been your 3rd out, and you saw sort of how Tucker reacted to it. He ran up to it, called everybody off, and then at the last second, his hat kind of come off, and he kind of had to jump back and get it, so he sort of knifed away from him, a little bit, or toward into him, I guess you can say, and sort of just come up empty on that one.
Pitches in the dirt to the right-handed hitting Taylor King, and now that allows Chase Clark to get into scoring position on the wild pitch. So the runner at second with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Northwest has added a run. It's now 8-6. And we talk about the BSU, but I'll tell you what, there are the hamburgers and the dogs, they are lights out, folks. If you come to Roy Crescent Field, there's a pop-up and a nice job by Hayden Williams to catch it on the pop-up by Taylor King, and that takes care of Northwest in the 6th. They do get a run on 1 hit. There was an error, and 1 was left in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 8-6 Northwest over ICC.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
Will Colmeyer back here in Fulton as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Adam Gore joining me again here this afternoon. Tina Harlow, our studio engineer at FM 95 Studios in Amory. James Puckett is shooting our production. He's the videographer for our video streaming at LetsGoICC.com. And if you're watching at LetsGoICC.com, you see Ethan Gill with a few warm-up swings for ICC. It'll be Gill, Hayden Williams, and Austin Welch, the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Facing right-hander Will Faulkner for Northwest, the right-handed hurler out of Houston High School. Gill today, 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI, and there's a strike. 0-1 the count. Faulkner, who wears the number 15 on the back of his Northwest jersey, is a 6'2", 195-pound sophomore.
A gust of wind come up that time, and actually got a little whirlwind out there, and it blew a little sand up in the face of Gill.
Nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 8-6 Northwest over Itawamba. Curveball, and Gill got hit. And Gill, nice job. We need base runners, and that curveball wasn't going to hurt a mosquito. And he just kind of made sure it hit him.
How many times have you been hit this year?
Let's check the numbers.
I know you got hit 4 times with Red Bull.
Yes, he got plunked. He got hit 4 in that one day. And let us see. That is the 7th time that Ethan Gill has been hit by a pitch this year. So here's Hayden Williams, slaps a base hit in the hole on the left side of the infield, and the Indians A little counter punch of their own here in the bottom of the 6th. First 2 runners are on base. And with no out, here's Austin Welch, the DH.
Yeah, you like to see the fight out of the Indians. You know, things not quite going their way. This is actually going to be Coker coming up to bat for the Indians if we don't have a pitching change here.
Mark Carson is out, and there is going to be a call to the bullpen. We got another Predator Pest Control pitching change, and we'll tell you who he is. Right after this 60-second timeout, it's 8-6 Northwest, bottom of the 6th, but the Indians have a couple runners on.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
WAFM, Amory, Aberdeen.
We got another Predator Pest Control pitching change here in the bottom of the 6th. Northwest leads 8-6. It is Colin Lyles in for.
We have another Predator Pest Control pitching change. Number 5, Colin Lyles is in for Northwest.
Lyles is 6'2", 205, a freshman from Hernando. He went to Magnolia Heights High School, and he is the 3rd pitcher of the day for Northwest.
And you can see both these teams. I know this is a big game for both of them. ICC countered with Aiken, and then now once Northwest gets in trouble, now they're going to counter with a new pitcher themselves right now. So still a lot of baseball to be played, but the way this division is shaping up, every game's a big game.
Lyles making his 10th appearance. They've all been in relief. He's got a 1-1 record with a 4.90 earned run average. Pitched 10 innings starting the day, giving up 15 hits, 9 runs. 7 of those were earned. He has struck out 9 in 10 innings. He's walked 7. He's given up 2 home runs and a double, and opponents are hitting .366.
And now a little gamesmanship on the part of ICC. What was Coker coming to the plate? Now Austin Welch coming to the plate.
So Welch will stay in the game. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Indians trail 8-6. But the red and blue from Itawamba trying to cut into that deficit right now. Welch choking up on the bat. Showed bunt. And a nice job by Northwest. They stepped off the rubber. Now they kind of probably had a hunch that Welch might be bunting.
Yeah, they're going to see.
Now they know for sure.
Yeah, so they're going to see if he's going to show anything, tip his cards, and did so there.
Welch, the sophomore out of Hamilton. There's the bunt, and it's a beautiful bunt down the first base line. Only one play for Chase Clark. That is to first, and Tanner Densford, the second baseman, covering. So a nice sacrifice bunt by Austin Welch. And that was brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Another couple hundred members this year for the Baptist Student Union, under the leadership of Chris Burrows. They always like to remind us of the ultimate sacrifice made on our behalf. Let's see if ICC can take advantage of the sacrifice bunt. There's a fly ball lifted to right field by Tanner Poole, and it's going to be deep enough to try to score Gill, and he will, standing up. So ICC gives Northwest a little bit of its own medicine there. Get the sacrifice bunt to put runners in scoring position, and then Tanner Poole with a sacrifice fly to right field, and that makes it 8-7. That sacrifice fly brought to you by the Baptist Student Union.
Absolutely, and now we just need to dial up a big 2-out base hit right here out of Gable Butler.
So here's Butler, 1 for 3 on the afternoon with a run scored. Boy, if he comes up with a big 2-out base hit, that would be mighty huge for Itawamba. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Some late inning drama here at Roy Crescent Field. That for Poole, by the way, his second run batted in of the afternoon, that sac fly just moments ago. There's a strike called, 1-1 the count. So Poole with 2 ribbies here this afternoon. That gives Tanner 7 on the year. The freshman out of Amory. There's a lace into left field, a base hit. And that's going to go all the way to the wall, and extra bases for Butler. And Butler will have a 2-out double to score Hayden Williams, and we're tied at 8.
That was big because that's something we hadn't got a lot this year. Base hit with 2 outs, with the runner in scoring position, and now we're tied 8-8.
That double by Butler sends Mark Carson back out onto the mound. The head coach of Northwest. Will we have another Predator Pest Control pitching change? 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. We're tied at 8, and we're back in 30 seconds here on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
And we've got another Predator Pest Control pitching change here in the bottom of the 6th in an 8-8 tie. This time it's Tyler Scholl. Scholl is 6'3", 195, a sophomore from Olive Branch. He went to Lewisburg High School. And he has had himself quite a year. And he will face, with 2 outs, Russ Johnson. Scholl, Adam, making his 11th appearance of the year. They've all been in relief. He has no record, but he does have a save. He's pitched 9 innings, given up 6 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, struck out 6, walked 1. Opponents are only hitting a .188 against Tyler Scholl. He's got a 0.78 earned run average.
He's got a drop-down sidearm motion, so it's difficult for batters to pick up. It works good in a mid-relief for a relief guy like that in short innings. To sort of switch things up, and because it's difficult to pick up where a pitch is coming from. So you see all the ICC players out there basically just staring down his release point, trying to find it, get the timing right here. So, 8-8 ball game, and this is what we anticipated, a battle between these two proud programs.
Yeah, you're really right. When you talk about proud programs, usually battling for the top spot in the North. Just about every North Division title, it seems like, in the last 12 to 15 years has either run through Fulton or Senatobia, where the Rick Collier's won 8 of those in his first 11 years as the head coach. And here is Russ Johnson, another Predator Pest Control pitching change for Northwest. They started with Waddell, then Faulkner came in, then Lyles, and now Scholl. So they've had 4 pitchers, and ICC has had 3 pitchers. Started with Brooks, then Hahn, and now Tucker Aiken is the pitcher of record in an 8-8 game. Let's see what Russ Johnson can do here. Butler is the runner at second with that RBI double just moments ago to tie it. And there's that sidearm pitch catching the inside corner. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, it's got a weird break. It's almost like a double breaking type pitch where it sort of goes out and fans back into the batters.
Russ Johnson, 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Has a base hit, and he gets plunked. Or did that get past the, no, I guess it did not hit him, but it's a wild pitch. But it hit the catcher's mitt, so I don't, there may have been just a little mess up on the communication between Scholl and the catcher, Austin. Either way, Butler goes to third.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's what you see with guys that have that drop-down motion. Sometimes they tail inside. Catchers get jammed up, or you start hitting batters.
So we got a runner at third. One more of those wild pitches or pass balls, and we've got a lead at 9-8. There's a swing and a miss by Johnson, 1-2 the count. And now Russ, the freshman from Hatley's got to guard the plate now with 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th in an 8-8 tie. Johnson chokes up. Fouls this one out of play into the parking lot.
You got a battle right now. 1-2 count with 2 outs here. Runner on third. Tie ball game, man. We really, really, really need to get this guy in.
This is their relief ace, Tyler Scholl. A 0.78 earner on average. Pitches in the dirt. There's a wild pitch, and the ICC Indians have taken a 9-8 lead. Just as we asked for, we received the wild pitch by Scholl. Scores Butler from third, and the good guys have their first lead since early in the game.
Yeah, that was big. That was real big right there because, as you said, a 2-2 count with 2 outs. You have to find any way to score, and ICC just taking advantage of the opportunity.
That's just clutch with Johnson hanging tough at the plate, and he fouls this one off his foot, and we'll do again with a 2-2 count with 2 outs. And ICC, how about this come from behind? Lead now. We were down at 1.6-1 in this game, and we've now taken a 9-8 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Johnson hits from the right side, and he swings and misses. Nope, got away from the catcher, then he tagged the batter Johnson, and that takes care of ICC in the 6th. That strikeout brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. But the Indians score 3 more runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, and no one was left. We go to the 7th inning, and ICC has the lead, and we've got another Predator Pest Control pitching change. We'll tell you who will try to get the save for ICC and give Tucker Aiken a chance to win when we return to Fulton right after this.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000. We are back in Fulton. We go to the top of the 7th. ICC 3 outs away from winning game 1 of this doubleheader against Northwest, leading 9-8. And Justin Bryant is asking for Tupelo sophomore Ben Aldridge to come in to save it for Tucker Aiken. And Aldridge, here in the 7th, will face the number 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Sexton, Latham, and Austin. So Aldridge is the 4th pitcher of the day for ICC, and he'll face the right-handed hitting Steven Sexton, the right fielder for Northwest. Fouls his first pitch straight back, 0-1 the count. Aldridge got the win during our midweek, one of the wins last week in one of our broadcasts against Coahoma. Faced 10 batters, retired all 10 of them. Got the win in relief. There's a bouncer up the middle. Johnson makes the play. His throw to first gets Sexton by maybe a half of a step for the first out here in the top of the 7th. And Sexton, who had walked twice earlier, goes down for the first out.
Yeah, the ball took a funny hop on him again. That's the third time today we've seen the ball take a funny hop going to short for both teams. So you got to sort of be on your toes right there.
And here's Luke Latham, the DH. 2 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. He lines one in the right field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Didn't try to pull the ball. Fastball away by Aldridge, and he rips it to right. And so a 1-out single by Latham. He's now 3 for 4. I should say 3 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. Has a run scored and a run batted in.
Just gives us the opportunity to try to turn 2 it in.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice positive spin at him. Let's see what Hunter Austin can do, the catcher. He's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Bounced into a 5-3 double play his first time up. Let's see if we can do that again. There's a strike called. Aldridge. He has had his share of moments for ICC. This is his 13th appearance of the year. And now they're going with a pinch runner. That's going to be Brennan Pugh is a sophomore from Houston High School. He's pinch running for Northwest. So Pugh is the pinch runner for Latham. With one out here in the top of the 7th. Throw over to first by Aldridge. Back standing up is Pugh. Aldridge making his 13th appearance of the year, has a 3-3 record with 1 save, with a 4.55 earned run average. He was the losing pitcher in Game 1 of that doubleheader at East Mississippi 2 days ago. Another pickoff to first. We had 2 unearned runs in the bottom of the 6th, so he didn't give up an earned run, but he was tagged with the loss. Here's the 0-1. Now Aldridge will step off the rubber. He was one of our Sonic stars of the game, brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In in Fulton. After he saved, got the win, I should say, in relief against Coahoma. There's a curveball, a little outside, 1-1 the count. Just retired 10 straight batters, but it was just, hey, Will, that's what we practice.
Yep.
I just trying to go out and do my job. Never too excited, never too low. He just kind of keeps at that plateau. There's a foul ball into the parking lot, now over the parking lot, over into our ICC soccer fields.
Home of the MACJC North Division champion Indians.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Mike Sullivan had a nice year a year ago, and of course won't be long before we'll have some of those games broadcasted on our video streaming at LetsGoICC.com. Pick off back to first, diving back safely is Pugh. Boy, we got some great feedback. We televised a few of those games, about a half dozen in the fall, and received great numbers.
Say great numbers, and a lot of people from opposing schools actually sitting in on those as well. That thoroughly enjoyed the broadcast. So just trying to bring a little bit extra to the table.
There's a foul ball by Austin, 1-2 the count. Of course, don't think I quite have the play-by-play skills. I've done almost 660 here, but I don't think I could do radio with soccer.
No. I don't think soccer is meant to be a radio sport.
That is the beauty of the video streaming. 1-2 the count, and Aldridge will step off the rubber.
You know, and that's what Northwest presents you. You know, they're very aggressive on the bags. You got to pay attention. You got to know. You got to keep them honest.
This one is fouled straight back over our heads in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth. I know we've got Mark Todd, the alumni director. He'll be our in-between game guest.
And right there was an example of it. They tried to hit and run right there in that situation. Luckily, fouled it off, and hopefully we can just get out of this jam right here.
1-2 the count. Aldridge checks the runners with one out, and there's a slow roller to third. Gill charges, throws it sidearm, and a beautiful play to get Austin for the second out here in the 7th. How about that web gem by Ethan Gill, brought to you by the National Guard.
And I'll tell you, that's the big man showing his wheels right there. A lot of people look at him at third. They're like, okay, he's going to be a little slow. We can get some little dribbler down the line and leg it out. Man, he left no doubt on that one. He got him by 2 or 3 steps. So carries a big bat and a strong arm.
Pugh goes to second on the play. 2 outs, and here's James Lear. And the first pitch is a strike called. Aldridge is going to have to earn his keep here on James Lear to try to get a save for the Indians. Ben trying to pick up his second save of the year. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2 called right at the knees. Good locations on the first 2 pitches out of Aldridge.
Yeah, and he's charged up on this one right there. Those last 2 pitches had a little heat behind them.
Lear hitting at 355. One of a handful of Major League Baseball prospects here on this Northwest squad. And there's a fly ball hit to right field. Coming on is Butler, and he almost lost it in the sun, but he makes the catch. And ICC has come from behind to win Game 1, 9-8.
A little flair for the dramatic.
Oh, my goodness. How about that play by Butler out in right field, and the Indians win Game 1, 9-8, as we begin our Dr. Mark Aiken Veterinary Services postgame report with a game summary brought to you by Weatherall Printing. How in the world did we come back and win this game, Adam?
We just didn't give up, and that's been the fight of this team all year. I mean, they've had some games go against them, but they just kept battling, and that's a sign of a good baseball team and a well-coached baseball team as well. So, Rick, sit back and listen to this one, maybe watch it a little bit, and he may be like, you know what? If we do this, I may just sit back and watch a little bit more and let Coach Bryant go ahead and run this thing. But kudos to the Indians, man. Didn't give up and just battled the whole way through.
That's a nice game summary brought to you by Weatherall Printing. In the top of the 7th, no runs, a hit, no errors, and one was left in scoring position. And so you can throw another donut up on the scoreboard, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop, as ICC wins Game 1 9-8. We'll have more of our Dr. Mark Aiken Veterinary Services postgame report coming up right after this timeout.
ICC Sports on